Our daughter was 17 years old when she entered into the program. She was in obvious distress. She had multiple overdoses, so it was a situation where it was life and death and finding somebody who could help her daughter.
I just felt like there was nothing left I could do, that I needed outside help. I needed a professional to help me. It just affected everyone. Nobody was in a good state of mind or a good state of thought. Like we're all freaking out really because we didn't know what to do. Just watching your kids spiral out of control.
So after her second severe overdose, she went in for some evaluation and went into another program, but that program just didn't meet her needs.
At the previous facility, it was more of a mental health facility.
She overdosed within a couple of days of being home from the facility.
I felt like she was going to die. If I took any more time, she was going to be dead.
And frankly, we didn't have many options.
There weren't a lot of choices.
Extremely lucky to have been able to land a position at Turning Winds. And we were at Turning Winds within a week after that. So we were fortunate. We dropped her daughter off.
Even when I got to Turning Winds, I didn't really have any hope left. I had resolved that eventually I was going to get a call that she's gone. I knew right away just the communication that we were able to receive is completely on another level of anywhere we've ever placed her, that they keep us in that circle. But I felt that they were communicating with us about how she was, where she was at mentally, what she was doing, how they felt about it. And it felt really good for once. Like that was the first time I felt like we were part of the process. Because I feel like if I would have known, I would have went straight to Turning Winds. I wouldn't have gone anywhere else. I feel like she needed a higher level of care and I had no idea. And if your gut's telling you, you should listen to it. She pushed back really hard. And we had a few phone calls and I thought that they weren't going to let her stay. Like she was pushing back so hard. But luckily for us, they could see through that that's just like her being hurt, like her screaming out. And they gave her the skills to either address it, accept it, and learn how to work on that. She's a completely different person.
Yeah, they recognized that outburst or her inability to cope at that point in time was just a function of where she was at mentally. We can tell just through the constant communication that these folks all really cared at every level. They cared about our daughter, and that's what provided some relief after some time to know that she was in a safe place.
Yeah, you can tell they actually care. It's not just I'm paid to be here, this is my job. They actually care.
What was nice about Turning Winds and really the exposure to the other students is perspective. You know, as young adults, children, they don't have that. They have their own little world that they live in, and that can spiral any direction. It can be as good as bad as their perception of that moment. Being able to see the other students, the situation they're in, and the help that they're getting all the way around made a big difference. You know, she's much more appreciative of the things she has, her family connections. Really just kind of opened her eyes to what she had, but in her life and the value that was there. So it's nice to get her back and have her see and appreciate the life that she has. For me, it's her complete and absolute turnaround and perspective on her life. You know, before she went in, I don't think she had much faith that she was going to make it much longer. And now she does.
Yeah. The change in her in such a short time, like while you're going through it, it feels like eternity. It feels like they're never coming back, but they are. So prepare. But the person that came home is like so more skilled and just a completely different person. I'm so impressed with the work she did and the work they did and how she handles situations and approaches everything. Even just asking for something small, it's like she approaches it different than she did.
we mentioned that we've been going through this for several years. At some points, she was diagnosed as having mental disabilities and conditions. So, from my perspective, I didn't know that she could get better, to be honest. To see that, again, her perspective on life and her value of herself has changed so much. It's night and day in how she treats herself, us, her brother, and family. Just in general, just a better person. She's able to communicate her emotions rather than just act out on them.
I love the staff so much. Like, honestly, I consider some of those people my family now. We've been through some of the toughest points.
They're as genuine as it gets. They truly care. And without them, they make the difference. It doesn't matter where your child goes, it's the folks that they're working with. And I can tell you with complete sincerity, every single person I interacted with had the best interest of my child at heart. Their communication with us, with her, it was exceptional. It's more than we could have hoped for, to be honest, given where we were at when we brought our daughter to Turning Winds. That's a good point, Heather. I mean, it wasn't just about care for our daughter, it was about how our interaction as a family and being able to facilitate open communication. That's what really brought us all back together. It wasn't just our daughter being somewhere else, it was being with people who cared and allowed her to be herself and openly communicate with us that brought us back together as a family.
Like, Turning Winds to me is like the cocoon, and my daughter was the caterpillar, and she went in there and came out a butterfly. Like, they completely changed her, and it's beautiful.
They allowed her to be who she is, and it was truly beautiful. Turning Winds to me really saved our family. It isn't just about our daughter. It's hard to express what Turning Winds means to me, because without them, everything that I love would be gone.